I'm Ellie Wildflowers and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about my IUD and why I got it removed. This is obviously a really personal topic, but in trying to do research for myself, I found that it seemed like there was a lot of stories that weren't widely shared. So I am 25 years old and I've been on one form of hormonal birth control or another since I was I think maybe 16 is when I started. I started out on the pill, and I was on the pill for a long time. I was on a lot of different brands and stuff, so I'm not even sure what kind I was on. I eventually switched to an IUD, Mirena hormonal IUD, 3 or 4 years ago, because it was so much more convenient, it was more effective. I didn't have to worry about picking up a prescription every month, which could be really annoying, especially when you're traveling. It posed some pretty big issues. And time zone changes were a big bummer with the pill. And the IUD just seemed more effective and a lot more convenient. And it lasts for 5 years, which is amazing. So that's why I went with it. And so I actually have had 2 IUDs, both Mirenas. The first one I had put in, I had it in for 7 months, and they talk about how you can experience spotting and some form of light bleeding for up to 6 months is normal. And I was spotting or bleeding the entire time I had that one. So it was for 7 months, and it was awful. And it gave me cramps, and I'd never really had cramps before, a little bit, an achiness, but I've been really lucky with my cramps before that and hadn't really had them before. And then with the IUD, I definitely experienced cramps, especially during the first period I had with it. They were really, really bad. And then also for a few weeks, I think it was, after I'd had it put in, I would get a really bad cramp with orgasm, and it hurt. And so it was terrible. And so that first one was a really bad experience, and I eventually had it taken out because I was done waiting for it to settle in or whatever. I just gave up on it. And when I got it taken out, the doctor who did it, as she pulled it out, she was like, "Oh, I don't think that was put in right." She said it came out so easily, it didn't seem like it was put in right. And so I was just kind of really caught off guard and surprised by that information. And she didn't offer to put a new one in right then. I'd been planning to go on the pill again. And so that's just still what I did, but I was kind of just it took me a while to process that information, that it just hadn't been put in right. So I was back on the pill for a while, only a few months, I think. And then I wanted to try the IUD again. And so I got another one put in. It was the same one, Mirena, because I thought it was just put in wrong before. It'll be a different experience the second time. And it definitely was better the second time. I didn't have spotting for so long. It was over a lot quicker, but I still had cramps, which I hadn't really had before. And I did still get my period every month, which was one of the big selling points for having an IUD, was to have much lighter, much less frequent periods, which I think the majority of women experience, but that wasn't the case for me. I still had periods every month, and they were moderately heavy and long, which is kind of normal for me. So that was just kind of a bummer, but it was way more convenient than the pill, so that was nice. But I did really miss being able to plan my periods, because I was still getting a period every month, but they weren't super regular, and when I was on the pill, I could plan exactly when I wanted them to be, which was awesome. And so I kind of missed that, actually, and preferred that about the pill. And so then I had a doctor prescribe me the NuvaRing so that I could take the NuvaRing and the IUD at the same time. And so the NuvaRing would just allow me to plan my periods, but I still had all the effectiveness and overall coverage of the IUD. And she said that was okay because they were both really low hormones, because they were localized, and there was no issues with having too much hormones. But I didn't really like the NuvaRing. It made me feel I felt like I could feel it a lot, and like especially during sex. So yeah, I didn't use it for very long. I basically just stopped. I didn't like it. So I've had the second IUD. I've had it for like 3 or 4 years, and I finally decided to get it removed, and I actually just got it removed like a couple hours ago this morning. Because I have been on hormonal birth control for so long, like all of my adult life actually, and I'm wondering if it's going to help with like mood issues, because I definitely have mood issues. Like I have PMS problems, and sometimes I just get like down and I don't feel good, and it is kind of cyclical. I definitely experience PMS, and I think it's gotten worse lately, like maybe in the past 6 months or so. And I've had other things like that I don't really feel like getting into in this video that have been affecting my mood, just like personal experiences in my life, and issues with anxiety. And like I've been going to therapy, and like I've been like working on it, and like being really conscious about recognizing my emotions and what influences them. But yeah, it definitely seems like there's like a cyclical hormonal aspect to low energy, sad moods. So for me, like trying to like continue to figure this out, it really seemed like just getting rid of this hormonal input was kind of step one, to just see what happens without it. So I got it out, and I also just bought the Daisy fertility awareness like tracking device, and I'll probably make videos about that too, because I didn't see like a whole lot of videos about how it went for people, especially transitioning from hormonal to the Daisy. So I'm excited to do that, and I think it's a good time for me to do it right now, because like I'm not in a relationship, I'm not having sex with anyone, so it's like a pretty good time, I think, to switch to something that is new to me and that takes time to figure out and get used to, and to be reliable, like any sort of fertility-based awareness method. So yeah, my mood hasn't been great, but it's been up and down. Like I've had good moods, but like since last night, I've been in not a great mood. And I just got the IUD taken out like a few hours ago, and I feel in like a really not great mood right now. And I think that energy is probably coming across on the camera. I really couldn't say that it's because I just had the IUD taken out. I really have no idea. But I feel emotional, I feel sad, I feel like crying. And for the past couple weeks especially, I've kind of felt like this a lot. And I feel like it on and off, kind of through longer fluctuations of time for like the past 6 months or so. So part of me wonders if like I'm feeling particularly shitty right now, especially for like it's the middle of the day, it's my day off. Like I just went and ate breakfast and it was nice, but I still don't feel great. Especially for a middle of the day kind of mood like this. I can't help but wonder if it is because I just had the IUD out, and I read about like hormone withdrawals or like hormone crashing after you take an IUD out or stop taking the pill or something like that. And then I also can't help but wonder if I'm just like placeboing myself into feeling this way, which is really annoying. But I kind of just like want to like document and share my experience with hormonal birth control and getting off of hormonal birth control, and seeing if it makes a difference in my mood. And then the other couple things I wasn't happy with was cramping on my period, and I also feel like I've been having like more acne breakouts lately too. So maybe it's something I'm eating, maybe it's something else, but I want to start here because it's just something like I honestly did very little research into it. I want to be straightforward about that. But I have been practicing being more intuitive with things, and like I really don't feel like I'm doing anything risky. Like I'm not having sex with anyone, and I base my relationships as an adult woman off of what's healthy for me. So like I don't feel like I'm being dangerous about it. So in that sense, I don't have any reserves in just following an intuitive want to get off hormonal birth control. And my camera is about to die. I don't know if it's still filming this right now. Yeah, I will keep updating as we go along. Thanks for watching. Bye.